Okay, now that you've got a good diagnosis of the problem, you can begin problem solving some solutions. Keep in mind that there is no hard and fast rule of how long it should take from the evaluation of the risk factors to the problem solving stage. That's not the point. The point is to make sure that you do them in the correct order. Don't do the problem solving first. Once you've evaluated the task or job and identified the risk factors, the team is ready to begin the Just Ask Why problem solving process. Let's look at a more realistic example. Imagine that this is my job. I have to go around and empty trash receptacles like this one. What's the job involve? Well, what do you see here? Lifting fairly heavy bags above the shoulders frequently throughout the day. Risk factor? You bet. Let's start asking questions. Is the weight of the trash too heavy? Well, not when I'm holding it like this. But everything changes when I now have to take this and lift it over my head. Weights kept close to the body aren't nearly as demanding as weights that are lifted away from the body or above the shoulders. Next question. Why am I lifting it over my head? Well, this is a 36-inch receptacle and the bag is 36 inches deep. If I'm going to get it out of here, I need to lift it high enough to clear the rim. Another question, which may sound obvious, but it keeps us on the right track, is why am I lifting this out of the top if that's what's creating the problem? The answer? That's the only place with a hole. This thing was designed to put things in and pull things out through the top. Why are all of these garbage receptacles like this? Well, we bought these 20 years ago and this is how they were designed. A solution may come to mind at this point. How about just tipping the whole thing over, laying it down, and pulling it out this way? Guess what? I'm not lifting overhead anymore. That's great. But I have eliminated one risk factor while introducing another one. Now I'm handling the load from a bent over position. It's different, but not necessarily better. So, why are there risk factors associated with this job? Partially because of the weight, but primarily because of how this weight needs to be handled. Guess what? From the risk factor analysis and asking why about each of the risk factors, we have reached a diagnosis. Knowing that our diagnosis is accurate, we now begin to problem solve solutions. What we are trying to achieve in this instance is eliminating the need to lift the bags overhead. Voila! What was found to be the simplest, least expensive, and most effective way to address the problem was to add a back door to the receptacle. Diagnosis, overhead lift. Solution, slide the bags out. To make this whole process a bit easier for you, we've come up with some forms to guide you through it. Scared you a bit, didn't I? Okay, let's get started. The 5 major back risk factors are placed in the first column on page 2 of this worksheet. For each risk factor, the group is asked why that risk factor is present. It is not unusual to find more than one reason. For each of these reasons, we again ask why until we reach the root cause of the risk. This problem-solving process identifies what needs to be addressed in order to reduce or eliminate the major risk factors. Hopefully you are beginning to see why it is important to go through this process. If we had jumped right into fixing the problem before we got to the root cause, we may possibly have taken an ineffective approach to fixing it. People are already resistant to change in their environments, and budgets are often tight. This is why you want to make sure that any changes you invest in are giving you the results that truly benefit the employees and the company. Once you have the root causes identified, the group can begin developing strategies to reduce the risks. Keep in mind, that if all the solutions the group comes up with are simply telling the employees to be more focused and careful or to stretch more during the day, it is a given that the root causes for the problem have not yet been identified. Effective ergonomic solutions create an environment where the most natural way to perform the job is also the safest and least demanding. Using page 3 as a guide, the group has come up with a variety of approaches to addressing the problem. They can then begin the process of determining which ideas should be implemented. Other ideas beyond this are welcome and encouraged. The ultimate decision is generally influenced by cost, feasibility, getting buy-in by the people doing the job, and the time it will take to implement the change. You may want to consider doing a pilot study in one area rather than immediately taking the solution company-wide. This allows the change to be effectively evaluated by a small group, and any bugs in the new system can be identified and fixed in a timely manner. In many instances, there may be a short-term quick fix implemented to reduce the risk initially, with a longer-term solution implemented afterward. For example, I have been standing on this concrete for quite some time now. My feet are killing me. Oh, that is much better. When is a quick fix effective? When the risk factor is obvious, it takes little time, the costs are low, and the impact is huge. Also, as we talk about this process, you keep hearing me mention the team or the group. I realize that some of you watching this may be the only player on your team, and others may have so many players that it's hard to get everyone together or to agree on the best approach. There is no right size for the team, and the saying, the more the merrier, doesn't always apply. The important things to remember are to get people involved who are motivated to work towards the creation of a safe and productive workforce and support the Just Ask Why process. There is always more than one way to reduce risk in a job, and the identification and analysis of the risk factors through the problem-solving approach will allow a company to find the approach that works best for them. One must be careful to do more than just put a Band-Aid on the problem by trying to work around it. Fixing the problem by making the job better ergonomically will make it easier and safer for people to work and results in improved quality and increased productivity. Once you've made a change, you are not done yet. If you've done all the steps well, there's a very good likelihood that the problem will have been addressed. However, there are occasions where making a change in one area can lead to problems in another. Remember with the trash receptacle? I didn't eliminate the risk factor. I just moved it from one body part to another. That is why you need to go back soon after a change is implemented to see how employees are responding and to ensure that a new and different set of problems haven't cropped up. Following through to check up on any issues that may have come up will let the employees know that the company is committed to making positive changes in the workplace, and it'll encourage their participation on future projects. So that's it. You are now equipped to go out and identify risk factors, get to the root cause, problem-solve solutions, and implement effective changes. Thanks for watching.